Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome to my reading corner. This is basically what I plan on reading for up to the end of the year, and what I'm reading this weekend. We'll go through what I'm planning on reading this weekend first, and then we'll obviously that is part of what I want to read by the end of the year as well. So I'm just gonna get into this because I feel like the last few videos I've done are quite rambly. So I'm not gonna mess about too much. I'm still reading The Cruel Sea by Nicholas Monserrat. I am about 243 pages in. About exactly 240 pages in. 43 pages in. I was enjoying it and then I put it down. I just felt like it was taking me ages to read. I'm going to get back to it though. I really want to read this because the next chapter says fighting. So I think it's going to be a really interesting book. I do like World War II non-fiction as well as fiction, so I'm really looking forward to reading that. I'm also reading Hit Parade of Tears by Izumi Suzuki. I'm reading this short story collection. I'm currently on The Covenant, which I was reading on my break, but I didn't quite finish, so that's what I'll read after this. I'm doing some studying and then I'm going to read that. I'm also reading Summer Crossing by Truman Capote. It's okay. I just put it down. I'm on the last chapter, but I put it down while I fancied reading a short story. It's okay. I'm looking forward to reading Breakfast with Tiffany's more than I am this. Well, not that I'm not enjoying this, but I think I'm looking forward to reading Breakfast with Tiffany's, which I've got on order. Then I'm still working my way through The Essential Chomsky. I'm looking at reading probably The Responsibility of Intellectuals and On Resistance this weekend, and maybe Language and Freedom as well on the Monday if I can. So I'm looking forward to carrying on with that. I'm enjoying that. Also reading Tales of Ordinary Madness by Bukowski. I am on Purple as an Iris. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stories in that left. So I want to work my way through that. Alongside that, I'm actually going to start South of No North because I want to try and finish this month. So I'm going to start reading that as well. So I want to read a few short stories tonight and finish. I want to read a short story in Izumi Suzuki, a couple of short stories in Tales of Ordinary Madness, the first story in South of No North, finish Summer Crossing, finish the story I'm reading in that, and if the next one is only short, I'll carry on. It's not, it's quite long. Oh no, it is short, sorry. The Walker's only 6 pages, so I'll probably try and finish The Covenant and read The Walker. Sorry. And then, for the end of the year, I'm just going to go through these because these are at the top of the bag. I've just got a bag of library books to go through, but these are the last ones that aren't. So this is Hot Water Music, also by Charles Bukowski. This is a short story collection, and the advantage of reading this before the end of the year is actually this book will actually go on the 200 books to read challenge before I buy any more. I've probably failed that because I got a couple of books from Corona Samizdat, and the reason is because I've never ordered off them before, and I thought, well, I know it's cheating the thing, but I just decided to treat myself to a couple of books, but that's the only place I'm allowing myself to order from. So I'm not allowing myself to order until I buy them, till I read them, so they will go to the challenge as well. But carrying on with what I want to read, these are just two little chat books. I was going to read There's No Business, but I thought I may as well read Bring Me All Love as well. I do think I've read them probably already while I've been going through the Bukowski reads, which I love Bukowski. He's probably one of my favourite authors. He's certainly one of the authors I've read the most of. And then I'm going to go through all the library books I've got 19 library books to go through. I've got Alan McGee, How Not to Run an Indie Label, and then I saw somebody had commented that somebody commented that this wasn't great, so it kind of put me off a bit then. So I'll probably put that one further back. I'm not. These aren't in any reading order. These are just what I want to get to by the end of the year. I have The Great Gatsby by S. Scott Fitzgerald. So I've got that to read. Obviously, it's a classic. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. I don't really know much about The Great Gatsby. I don't know the story of it at all. I have 84 Charing Cross Road. Rare edition. Yeah, this one sounds quite interesting. I want to read the blurb on this one. In 1949, Alan Hanff, a poor writer with an antiquarian taste in books, wrote to Marks and Co., booksellers of 84 Charing Cross Road, in search of the rare edition she was unable to find in New York. Her books were dispatched with polite but brisk efficiency, but seeking further treasures, Helen soon found in regular correspondence with bookseller Frank Doyle, laying siege to his English reserve with her warmth and wit, and as letters, books and quips crossed the ocean, a friendship flourished that would endure for 20 years. But it looks like it's all letters, so that looks quite interesting book. So I fancy reading that, probably sooner than the other two, being honest. I'm going to go for this one because it's only a thin one. Jean Rice, Wide Sargasso Sea. Again, it's a Penguin modern classic, so I don't really know much about it. A lot of books I've heard about people talking about on BookTube and podcasts and stuff, and that's why I've just picked stuff up as I have. But this is, in her brilliant novel, Jean Rice rescues the mad woman in the attic from Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre and brings her to life as the beautiful and tragic Antoinette Cosway. The story takes us to Antoinette's beguiling Caribbean island, a lush and ravaged Eden ripped apart by escalating tensions between the former slaves and the Creole heiresses' colonial family. Antoinette's marriage to a visiting Englishman seems to promise escape from the island's violent distress, but the lovers' intense affair takes a sinister turn before the honeymoon is over, as they become caught in a haunting and passionate tangle of rumour, history and betrayal. So that sounds pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, as well as Charing Cross Road. Out of them four, I prefer the sound of that one and the 84 Charing Cross Road. This is one I've read a few times before. Again, my interest in World War II, and I keep thinking about it, and the way it's depicted is really clever. Like, the Jews are mice, the Germans are cats, and then I think the Polish people are mice, I think. But yeah, such a good book, and it's just harrowing, the story. You know, it's a place I want to visit, Auschwitz, because you can't believe that happened at all, you know. So I want to see that for that reason, because I think it's harrowing. And my interest in the war is, like, my grandma lived through it, and I never asked her about it, and I think I wished I had. I didn't, so now I'm trying to find out about it through books instead. So I miss my grandma massively. She was such a character. Like, when I was younger, I don't know how old I was, but I mean, I was older. I was of an age where you go on parks and play, and you know. So she went on the slide and got stuck. That was funny. And then I remember, I'll never forget my grandma as long as I live, because she was amazing. I got an ice cream from the ice cream van, and the ice cream fell off the cornet. Well, I cried, obviously. Well, not obviously, but I was like, must have been, 6 or 8 or whatever. And then my grandma ran off to the ice cream van and got me another one, and yeah, just an amazing woman. And I wish I could have a cup of tea with her. Anyway, that's that anyway. So I think that's what, not just where my interest from war comes from. I remember going to the tunnels in sugar, where are they now? They're in Manchester somewhere. Stockport. I want to go back there because I remember going there and looking around, and I've been the German underground hospital in Jersey. I've got family in Jersey, so I'd kind of love to go and see all the World War II sites and stuff like that because it interests me. So yeah, that's why I've decided to read Mouse. Also, it's a graphic novel, so it's I just thought it'd be as I've read it a few times, it's one of them that I probably could dip my toe in and out of. But I don't really want to. First time I read it, I just couldn't put it down because it's just such a harrowing read. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I've got Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own, and Three Guineas. A Room of One's Own, based on a lecture given at Girton College, Cambridge, is one of the greatest feminist polemics. Ranging in its theme from Jane Austen and Charlotte Bronte to the silent fate of Shakespeare's gifted imaginary sister and the effects of poverty and sexual constraint on female creativity. Three Guineas was published almost a decade later and breaks new ground in its discussion of men, militarism, and women's attitude towards war. These two pieces reveal Virginia Woolf's fiery spirit and sophisticated wit, and confirm her status as a highly inspirational essayist. I need to put my teeth back in there. I was struggling a bit. But yeah, that sounds interesting as well. I've never read any I've never read any of the authors so far of the library books. The other stuff I've been reading, but the Azumi Suzuki and the Truman Capote and the Noam Chomsky and Nicholas Monserrat are all new authors. But apart from Mouse, everything I've never read any of these authors from the library. So that's Virginia Woolf. That sounds interesting. But again, I do fancy Mouse, Wide Sagacity, and 84 Charing Cross Road. But I'm doing 2 piles, so I'll show the ones I want to read first over, rather than keep going through them. I have a massive book now. I heard about this on Life on Books podcast, which I love watching. But it's a massive book, and I feel like it's going to be it's one of them that I know I won't want to put down when I start it, but it's massive, and it's a bit off-putting, but it is William Gaddis, The Recognitions. Now look at the size of that, that's massive. Let's say, I don't know how many pages this edition is. 900 odd pages, nearly 950 pages. So, it's not... I mean, I find some days I can read like about 100 pages a day. Usually that's what I aim for. Lately I've been struggling a bit. I think that's why I've got so many books on the go than I usually like having. But yeah, that looks really good. Next up we've got Tinkers by... I didn't say what that was about, did I? Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. So this is the Recognitions I'm going to talk about. The Recognitions is a sweeping depiction of a world in which everything that everyone recognises as beautiful or true or good emerges as anything but. Our world... The book is a masquerade moving from New England to New York to Madrid, from the art world to the underworld, but it's centred on the story of Wyatt Gwan, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, it's spelt Gwyon, the son of a New England minister who forsakes religion to devote himself to painting, only to despair of his inspiration in expiation, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. He will paint nothing but flawless copies of his revered old masters, copies, however, that find their way into the hands of a sinister financial wizard by the name of Rectale Brown, who, of course, I think it's Rectale Brown, who of course sells them as the real thing. Dismissed uncomprehendingly by reviewers on publication in 1955 and ignored by the literary world for decades after, The Recognitions is now established as one of the great American novels. Immensely ambitious and entirely unique, a book of wild Borgian inspiration and outrageous comedy that is so also profoundly serious and sad. That sounds amazing. However, the problem I've got with this is I want to read it. I do. However, the size of it puts me off. When you think that's a 900-page book, I could read three books in the time it takes me to read that. But it's not like I'm trying to read small books to get to my goal. I've hit my Goodreads goal. I'm aiming for 150 books now. Not bothered if I hit it. It's not about the number for me. It never was. It's just this year I've read a lot more than I was expecting to. So anyway, moving on. I have the Tinkers by Paul. Sorry, I'm covering my face. That's probably not a bad thing. You're not here to see my face anyway. You're here to see the books. Tinkers by Paul Hardy. I think. Oh yeah. It's winner of the Pulitzer Prize. Again, I heard this on Life on Books podcast channel, and just they had it in my library, so why not? It's only about 200 pages, so I think it might have been the short book, best short books maybe. An old man lies dying, confined to bed in his living room. He sees the walls begin to collapse, the windows come loose and the ceiling plaster fall off in great chunks, showering him with a lifetime of debris, newspaper clippings, old photographs and the mangled brass works of antique clocks. Soon the clouds from the sky above plummet down, followed by the stars, till the black night covers him like a shroud. He is hallucinating in death, throes from cancer and kidney failure. A methodical repair of clocks, he is now finally released from the usual constraints of time and memory to rejoin his father, an epileptic inherent peddler whom he had lost 7 decades before. In his return to the wonder and pain of his impoverished childhood in the backwoods of Maine, he recovers a natural world that is at once indifferent to man and inseparable from him, menacing and awe-inspiring. Wow, that sounds good. I'm going to read that right now. Okay, then we've got The Need by Helen Phillips. I don't know much about this book or anything, but I love that cover. It kind of reminds me a bit of Sweet Tooth. I don't know if you've watched my videos before, but one of my favourite comic book writer is Jeff Lemire, who wrote Sweet Tooth. I'm not really sure what this is about. Let me have a look. I'm going to say something in a minute. I just need to... She crouched in front of the mirror in the dark, clinging to them. The baby in her right arm. The child in her left. There were footsteps in the other room. Wow, that sounds good already. Molly is exhausted, anxious, losing her grip on reality. Her husband is away and she is running between her children and her job, where things are unravelling. Wow, she's a paleobotanist working at a fossil quarry and has recently unearthed artefacts that defy the understanding. The Coke bottle with lettering that leans the wrong way, an alternative version of the Bible. Where do these things come from? At home, as dusk falls, she gets jumpy. Are those footsteps out in the hall? What was that noise? She holds her 2 small children close to her and tries to pull herself together. But her worlds of work and home are about to collide. She discovers that the stranger in her sitting room knows everything about her life, and as their identity becomes chillingly clear, this intruder makes a demand of Molly that upends everything, forcing her to reckon with her most unspeakable fears. The Need is a gripping, unsettling and stunning original story that probes deep truths about motherhood and explores grief, loss and how we treat others. It's a compulsive, reality-warping novel that makes us rethink our world and question how far we would go to protect the ones we love. Wow. Well, I was going to say something then. I was thinking it when I was talking. I don't know, I find it quite weird. I probably said this before. I feel like I have now I'm saying it. But I always feel weird when you see authors. I don't want to... Oh, they look like they'd write that sort of book, or... Oh, they wouldn't look like a writer. You know, I don't like to see... I like to just imagine, like, not think about the author, what they look like or anything like that. Just read the book, and then if I like the book, then look who the author is, or find more if what else they've written. Probably sounds a bit weird. I'm working through this pile of books. I was hoping this video would be a quick one, but it's not been. But I hope you're still watching. This is Julia Arnfield, Our Wives Under the Sea. Again, I don't know much about that, but I love the cover again. I'm not sure I've heard of these books from somewhere. I don't know. I order them and then I'm like, right, I need to read. So, Miri thinks she has got her wife back. When Leah finally returns after a deep-sea mission that ended in catastrophe, it soon becomes clear, though, that Leah may have come back wrong. Whatever happened in that weak vessel, wherever it was they were supposed to be studying, before they were stranded on the ocean floor, Leah has carried part of it with her onto dry land and onto their home. To have the woman she loves back should mean a return to normal life, but Miri can feel Leah slipping from her grasp. Memories of what they had before, the jokes they shared, the films they watched, all the small things that made Leah hers, only remind Miri of what she stands to lose. Living in the same space, but suddenly separate, Miri comes to realise that the life that they had might be gone. Oh, okay. So this is a debut novel. So again, that sounds amazing. Now, I know I spoke to the librarian when I was getting these books out yesterday, and she said I don't know if she put it down or whether she didn't finish it straight away, but I'm looking forward to that. Next up, I've got a Japanese novel, obviously translated because I can't read any language other than English. I wish I could. I think if I could learn any 3 languages, it probably would be... I don't know. It's hard, I think. I'd probably say Japanese and German would probably be my first 2. German because I've got German heritage. My great-great-granddad or something, great whatever it is, like well far, but not far enough back. Far enough back to mean I'm not like a quarter German or anything like that. But so yeah, that's why German. Plus I've been to Germany, Japan. I'd love to go to Japan, so that, and then I don't know, maybe like Spanish or something like that. You know, to read like Spanish novels or like Portuguese to read like Brazilian novels and things like that. But yeah, anyway, I'm off on a tangent again. So this is The Kamigawa Food Detectives by Ayashi Kashiwa. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This one's actually on reserve, so I feel like this one needs to be read first, but after reading some of the other ones, it might not be the next thing I read, but I think it should be one of the next things I read just because it's on reserve. What's the one dish you'd do anything to taste just one more time? Down a quiet back street in Kyoto exists a very special restaurant called the Kamigawa Diner. Customers who can find the hidden establishment are treated to an extravagant meal, but it's not the main reason for visiting. The father-daughter duo who own the restaurant have started advertising their services as food detectives, capable of recreating a dish from their customers' pasts that may well hold the key to unlocking forgotten memories and ongoing happiness. That sounds really good, that. It kind of... not like... It's only about 200 pages, so it's not a long novel, but it kind of reminds me of the series I read, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, in the like going back, but not actually going back, just the food takes you back, which sounds really good. I'm just realising how many books I've actually got to read by the end of the year. I mean, I can always take them back to the library, but I don't want to take them back to the library unless I've read them, really. This is another Paul Harding one. This is This Other Eden. I'll read, I think Tinkers is his debut. I'm not sure if this is his second or his third book. The profoundly moving story of an island refuge and a community of outcasts living on borrowed time by the Pulitzer Prize winning author of Tinkers. Yeah, so it's either his second or his... I don't know if it says... Enon. I don't have that one, but I've got these two. Set at the beginning of the 20th century and inspired by historical events, This Other Eden tells the story of Apple Island, an enclave off the coast of the United States where waves of castaways in flight from society and its judgment have landed and built a home. Benjamin Honey, American, Banto Igbo, born enslaved, freed or fled at 15, aspiring orchidist, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, arrived on the island with his Irish wife, Patient, and they discovered they could make a life together there. More than a century later, the Honey's descendants remain with an eccentric, diverse band of neighbours. Then comes the intrusion of civilization. Officials determined to cleanse the island, and a missionary school teacher selects one light-skinned boy to save. The rest will succumb to the authorities' institutions or call themselves on the waters in a new Noah's Ark. That sounds interesting, but I like the sound of Tinkers slightly more, so that can go on that pile. Now this is interesting actually. This is Alfred Doblin, Berlin Alexanderplatz. Now I've been recently, I said I made an order for Corona Samizdat Press, a couple of books from there. I'll show them when they come. But I was watching the guy whose press it is, who's called Rick Harsh, and he mentioned this novel, which surprised me because I already had it out. I'm not sure what it's about either, so I'll go through it. So it's Franz Bieberkopf is back on the streets of Berlin, determined to go straight after a stint in prison for doing some stupid stuff. He finds himself thwarted by an external agency that looks on an awful lot like fate. Cheated, humiliated, thrown from a moving car, and embroiled in an underworld of pimps, thugs, drunks and prostitutes. Franz picks himself up over and over again until one day he's struck a blow which might just prove his downfall. That sounds good, that. I'm not sure about that. And it sounds good, don't get me wrong, but it's also a bit thicker than some of the other ones I fancy reading. So, not that I don't fancy reading it, I do fancy reading it, it's just, I don't know, I just feel like reading some of the shorter stuff first and then I can get some more books back to the library. This one's a big one as well, but it sounds interesting. This is also a winner of the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, which isn't something I realised when I ordered it, because I don't think this was in the library. No, they actually ordered this one in for me. It's never been taken out. I don't know if you can see it. Well, you could see if it was on the right page. There, it's never been taken out. Not that that matters, it's all computer now, it's not got... What happened to the clomp stamp? Why did we get rid of the clomp stamp? That was awesome. Bring back the clomp stamp, I say. We should hear that. Clomp. You know what I mean? We should hear that in libraries still. Anyway, this is The Sympathizer. I'm not going to try and pronounce that because I don't think I'm going to do the author any justice, or, well, any of you justice with my pronunciations. This is winner of the 2016 Pulitzer Prize for fiction. The Sympathizer is a blistering exploration of identity, politics and America, wrought in electric prose. The narrator, a Vietnamese army captain, is a man of divided loyalties, a half French, half Vietnamese communist, sleeper agent in America after the end of the Vietnam War. A powerful story of love and friendship and a gripping espionage novel, The Sympathizer examines the legacy of the Vietnam War in literature, film, and the wars we fight today. That sounds really good, but again, it's massively thick, and I didn't realise it was a novel actually. I thought it was non-fiction, but I didn't really want to do too much. Sometimes I don't like doing too much digging. And we're down to the last two. This is another one that I ordered, that they ordered in for me, which is good. Sometimes they go, oh, we can't order that in, and it's like, and I'll go on like, I don't know, say Blackwell's or something, and it's there. I'm like, it's there, you know, because I'm on this book bag. I've not bought anything, and like apart from the, like I say, the Coroner's Sammy's dad, because I don't have any Coroner's Sammy dad. I can't say it now. Too much talking. I thought, well, I'm going to order from there because I've not ordered anything, and then, like I say, I'll read those books before I order any more. But once I get rid of these library books, I'm going to reduce my library books. It's just been, oh, that sounds good, that sounds good, oh, that sounds good. Oh, I see, because I can't buy books, I've been buying them from my library, which is why that's come in, but it's good because I'm actually reading what I'm on. But anyway, this is Vulture Capitalism, Corporate Crimes, Backdoor Bailouts, and the Death of Freedom by Grace Blakely. I'm not sure if that's... I'm going to go with Blakely. Sorry, Grace. Should be Blakely. Everything you know about capitalism is wrong. Free markets aren't really free. Record corporate profits don't trickle down to everyone else. And we aren't empowered to make our own choices. They are made for us every day. In Vulture Capitalism, acclaimed journalist Grace Blakely takes on the world's most powerful corporations by showing how the causes of our modern crises are the intended result of our capitalist system. It's not broken, it's working exactly as planned. From Amazon to Boeing, Henry Ford to Richard Nixon, Blakely shows us exactly where late-stage capitalism has gone wrong. Wow. Sorry, I've had a bit of a cold all day. It just started this morning. I've been sneezing all day. It's doing my head in. So yeah, that sounds amazing actually, but also sounds quite scary. The talk about like capitalism and things like that. And then this is the last physical one I've got, but I'm going to talk about a few more books in a moment. This is Same Bed, Different Dreams by Ed Park. I'm just trying to see. Ah, okay. I thought it was like, that's the cover of it. I love that cover, it's beautiful. I'd have that as a poster or as a framed art, but I don't know if you can see that, but it's like weird symbols, so I didn't know if it was, but he's born in America. I think it's America. Born in Buffalo, he lives in Manhattan with his family. I thought it was translated, but it doesn't seem to be. In 1919, far-flung patriots established the Korean Provisional Government to protest the Japanese occupation of their country. This government in exile proves mostly symbolic, though, and after the Japanese defeat in World War II, the KPG dissolves and civil war erupts, resulting in the tragic North-South split that remains today. But what if the KPG still existed, now working toward an unified Korea, secretly pulling levers to further its aims? Same Bed, Different Dreams weaves together three distinct narrative voices with an archive of mysterious images and twists reality like a kaleidoscope. Korean history, American pop culture, and our tech-fraught lives come together in this extraordinary and unforgettable novel, loaded with assassins and mad poets, RPGs and slasher films, K-pop bands, and the perils of social media. Sun Sheen, a former writer now employed by the tech behemoth Gloat, comes into possession of an unfinished book, seemingly authored by the KPG. The manuscript is a riveting and revisionist history connecting the famous names and obscure bit players to the KPG's grand project. Everyone from Syngman Rhee, an architect, poet, Yi Sang, to Jack London and Marilyn Monroe mashes in here too, as are the Moonies and a history of violence extending from the assassination of President McKinley to the Reagan-era downing of a passenger plane that puts the world on the brink of war. Wow. I didn't know much about that either. That sounds amazing. That's quite a big book, but I actually fancy that more. But again, I've just done it into 2 piles, so I'll show you what's in each pile. So these are books I probably won't read straight away. So that's that. So we'll go through it quickly. So that's Same Bed, Different Dreams, just because again it's a big book. And I fancy getting through some of the smaller ones first to get... feel like I've got less books out from the library. Post Capitalism. The Sympathizer. I think as well that's because I've been struggling to really get into reading lately. Berlin. Alexanderplatz. This other reading just because I've got Tinkers to read. A Room of One's Own. 3 Guineas. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And then, because I've got put off about this, Alan McGee, How to Run an Indie Label. I think as well, though, being put off by that after reading Sonic Youth Slept on My Floor, which I absolutely loved. I think I gave it 5 stars because it was just brilliant. The guy, I can't think of his name, Dave something or other. I can't remember what his name is. Oh, sorry, Dave. It's definitely Dave something. He just knew his stuff. He loved his music. He was all in with the scene as well at the time. It was just a fantastic read. If you like music, I'd highly recommend. That's probably one of my that's my favourite music book I've read this year. This is the pile I want to get to sooner rather than later. Well, these are the ones I want to read next, after what I'm currently reading. Although I probably won't finish all the short story collections. The Kawagawa Detectives. Our Wives Under the Sea. The Need. Tinkers. Surprisingly, it's a long one, but the recognitions. Now, I put that here, but that might change for something else, but I actually think I will get to that sooner, rather than the other things. 84 Charing Cross Road. Mouse. I'm not sure where the Mouse... it's just my name on it. Not that it matters. Mouse. And then also Wide Cigarettes to Sea. So yeah, so tonight I'm just going to quickly run down what I'm reading tonight. Finish The Covenant and also read, I think it's The Walker, The Walker. In that, I think the first story in this is Loneliness. So I'll read that out of Safe No North. I'm going to try and read 2 stories in here, so I'm going to read Purple as an Iris and Eyes Like the Sky. I want to finish at least the final chapter if I don't read the afterword of Truman Capote's Summer Crossing, which is his debut novel. And that's not everything I'm reading. And then also I'm just going to quickly rattle these off. I've got on the reserve shelf at the library Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote, Bleeding Edge by Thomas Pynchon, How the Word is Passed by Clint Smith, I Heard You Paint Houses by Charles Brandt, The Tin Drum by Gunter Grass, and Lord of the Flies by William Golding. And also No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. Now, I've read that one before when I was in a worse place mentally than I am now, and I just thought I felt how he felt then, but I don't feel like that now, so I wanted to reread it see it from a different, how I'm feeling differently.